looks like we're live. That part is working. Let me know when you get here. This is Toni Tessler, ToniStamps. That is me. Tonight you're here for part 1 of my August class. And I just need to find the video so I can see some comments. Oh, there we go. All right, so let me know when you get here. If you're watching this later on YouTube, let me know that as well. So I did not have a class last month. I just didn't have time. But this month I wanted to do something fun. So I originally thought sunflowers because I am here in Maryland. Well, I didn't have the sunflower bundle. And I figured this Delicate Dahlias was close enough. So that's what I'm using. But let's talk about the class. So today's class, I'm calling it, well, this month's class, I'm calling it Delicate Dahlias Traveler's Notebook and Slimline Cards. So tonight we're going to make a basic traveler's notebook. I don't want you to think that you have to be into journaling or planning. You know, people are making their own planners, all that stuff. I just make these notepads or notebooks and I just have them in my tote bag, and I just use them to write stuff because I am a notepad lover. I love all notepads, notebooks. I can't stand it. I love them. So I love making lists, and then more lists and crossing stuff off, and it's my jam. So I haven't really gotten into the traveler's notebook, like as far as really, tarting them up and making all kinds of crazy inserts and doodads. So this will just be a basic one, and if you're into that, you can doll it up however you want. But I still love it. So we're making that tonight. Tomorrow night we're going to make some slimline cards. And again, I'm using Delicate Dahlias. You can use whatever flower set you want. Okay? So let's talk about the class. So, and I want to make sure this is in screen, so hold on for a minute. I think it's going to be here. Yep. Okay. I don't know if you can really read this. I'm going to have my blog updated tonight with the video from tonight, with tonight's post. So packet, this is going to be $40. That includes shipping, and that's for all the projects that we're making tonight and tomorrow night. So you're going to get the Traveler's Notebook Project Kit, which is all the papers, and some ribbons that we're doing. Hand-dyed papers. So I hand-dyed some of these papers, and I made a different video for that. I think I posted that yesterday. So go check that on YouTube because it was surprisingly easier than I expected. I used re-inker. So I used tuxedo black, Memento re-ink. And I'm going to show you those in a minute. But it's very inspiring. I'm going to try some different colors. So that, that's included in your kit. Papers and hand-dyed papers. We're going to do 2 slimline card with envelopes. We're doing that tomorrow. And then 2 mini slimline card kits with envelopes. You're also going to get a 1/4 pack of the beautifully penned designer series paper. This is one of the celebration items, but you're getting a 1/4 pack, and I'm pre-cutting it all for you for the projects. You're going to have to do some trimming down, and we're going to get to that. You're going to get 18 pieces of elegant faceted gems to use, 1 yard each of some new, this is new black and white, a 1/4 inch gingham ribbon, and then the white crinkled seam binding. I've also got a really cool storage bag, and then you will get the PDF tutorial emailed to you. Now, dates. So I need RSVPs and money by the 18th, which is next Wednesday. I order everything. It takes about 10 days. The date that I will get these mailed out and then email your packets will be Monday. Where did that go on the back? 8:30. So 8:30th, mail packets and email the PDF. So you can always come back to this video and follow along. But the PDF is going to have all the measurements, instructions. So, it's good for reference. If you're just making this on your own, I'll tell you as we're going what the measurements are, but you're not going to get that PDF. So, okay, that's that for the class. That is what we're making. Let's look at your packet. So, I got these cool bags. I'm very excited about this. I feel like they're going to protect the papers more, and I'm just very happy about it. All right, so I'm pulling this out, working from the bottom. So here's our ribbon. 1 yard each of those. Here are your elegant faceted gems, and then some labels, some pre-punched labels that I've done. These are leftover bits. We're going to need those labeled. You have 2 sheets. These are half sheets. This is what you're going to do while you're stamping on as far as your flowers and things. Not elegant, envelopes. These are all the bits and pieces for the mini slim lines, then for the regular slim lines, and then we get to today's pieces. So I'm going to put all this stuff back in this bag so we can get to it. So the journal, typical traveler's journals, just from research and the internet, it says that they're like 4 by 8 or 4.5 by 8.5 or 4.5 by 8. So it really depends on your book and what you want to make them. I'm going to make, the cover is going to be 4.25 by 8.5. So let me just get this. So you're going to have pre-cut. These are 3 pieces that are 8.5 by 8.5. All right, you're going to pick one of them that you want to be your cover. And I'm using this one. So I'm putting the other 2 away for now. You have a piece of black that is 8.5 by 8.5. We're going to glue this on to our cover, and that's just to make it a little bit more sturdy. All right, so we're going to put that aside. You also have, you're going to have 4 pieces of copy paper, and these are just for your pages. And then you're going to have 4 pieces that are, or is it 5? Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Okay. So 5 plain white pieces and 5 of the hand-dyed pieces. Now, I want you to look at these. Like I said, this was with the Memento Tuxedo Black, and it kind of has a blue tint to it. So yours, I'm dyeing the papers for you. Yours may not be the same exact color because of the process. It's different every time. I also took an iron and I ironed mine, and I'm not going to iron yours because some people want them crinkly and wrinkly. But one thing, let me just show you. These both started out, this was regular copy paper, like from Walmart. Look at this edge. So when I dyed the papers, it made the papers shrink up some. So that's interesting. Now yours is going to be pre-cut, but I'm going to do that with you. So that's our basic pieces that we're going to need. Let's go over what else we need. You need a pokey tool, an awl or something. This is from Stampin' Up! From a long time ago. Good hole poker. You need a blunt tip needle with a large eye. You need something to sew with, thread. We're doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and I don't want you to freak out or get anxiety about that. It's very easy, and you're gonna like it. So 3-hole, we need some twine. You're also going to need 4 binder clips, and this is just to hold our pages in place when we stab the holes through. Okay, our pages. What else? We're going to need some glue. I think I'm going to use some of this for the cover, and then I might use some of my new glue for other stuff. You're also going to need a black ink pad, and then any colors that you want. So flowers. I'm going to do, since I was thinking sunflowers, I'm doing my journal with, I'm going to use Bumblebee, because these aren't sunflowers, but they're close enough for me. So I'm using Bumblebee and black, and then you'll need a green too if you want to do some leaves. And I think I was using Just Jade for that. All right, so get all those pieces. Oh, we also need a corner rounder or corner chomper. I just got this thing from Amazon because you can do a couple pieces at a time. So we're going to try it out for the first time. So let me just go over my list. Binder clips, large eye needle, pokey tool, thread. Your thread can be baker's twine. It can be something from your sewing basket. It can be embroidery floss. It can be, anything really. This isn't a permanent long time project that you need to really worry about. It's just a fun notepad, and you were going to write in it, and then when it's done, you can do whatever you want with it. All right, so that is it for the ingredients and the glue. Okay, so let's start with, I'm going to glue this together first so that this can sit and dry. And let me get this little corner out of here. That fell out of my corner chomper. All right, so glue. Let me get a piece of paper just to work on. So these are both cut 8.5 by 8.5. I'm going to glue this piece to our cover. Now I'm just using cardstock and designer series paper because I want the cover to be a little bit more sturdy. I've made these in the past and I use file folders for the cover, and I really like that weight. I use the heavyweight file folders. So this is going to give it some extra weight. So we're just going to glue, and I'm going to put this all around the edge. Get as close as I can. And I really want it in this middle area because that's where I'm going to score it. All right, let's put this all over. So this Tombow glue does take a little bit longer to dry than some of my new glues. Oops, I just dripped that right in. That corner got right in the glue. All right, so let me concentrate and line this up. And then tap it down, and that all looks good. And now I'm gonna rub all over this. I don't want any air bubbles really. But like I said, this is not, we're not making the Mona Lisa here. This is more functional for me. I mean, I like the journals. You can add little bits of art, whatever makes you happy in them, stickers, make yourself little note cards. I like it just for writing, and I will put like some pretty things on the inside. All right, so, and I can tell I got glue on the edge, so I'm not going to worry about that though. All right, so cover, I'm going to put this off to the side. Now we're going to go back to the pages. So let me get our cover is going to be folded. It's going to be 4 1/4 by 8.5. I want the pages to be 4 by 8. Okay. So that means I have to cut them 8 by 8 and fold in half. All right. Now, like I said, your pages and all your papers that I'm making you, your hand dyed papers, all of these are going to be cut. And you're going to have the leftovers. So let me just cut these 8 by 8. And yours are probably going to have wrinkles just like mine. That's part of the charm. That's what everyone's telling me. So I tried to iron them out because I thought, oh, if I'm trying to write on that, that's really going to bother me if it's lumpy. But from what people were telling me, because I posted this to a group and said, what do you do about the wrinkles? How do you write right over top of that? And one of the girls said she likes it lumpy and wrinkly and crinkly. And if she is wanting to write something on it, sometimes she'll just add more paper on top of that. Hey, Rose. So don't let the wrinkles, get you down. That's part of the charm of it. All right, so we've got our 5 pieces there, and I'm actually going to cut these 5 sheets of copy paper at the same time. So 8 by 8. All right. Now these little bits, so I'm not going to save these. These little bits you save, and you can make more little I know you could probably do something with this. I'm not. I'm throwing it away. But you take these little bits, and we'll do that tomorrow, because, well, I don't know. We'll see how much time I have. But you fold these over, and you can have more little notepads. It'll be interesting. So I'm going to put these off to the side. Hey, Sharon. Awesome. All right, so we've got our papers. This is in our for later pile. These are all our pages. Now, you can score these. They should all be 8 by 8, and we want them folded in half. You can score them, or you can just fold them. I need to take this away so I can see what I'm doing. You can just fold them by hand. And I think that's what I'm going to be doing because, you know, they're copy paper. Now, I generally like 10 or 12 pages when I'm making a journal. So that's why you're going to have 5 of the white, 5 of the hand-dyed papers, and then we're going to use those 2 other pieces of our designer paper that I put off to the side. So I probably should have done some of these ahead of time, but this doesn't take forever. All right. I tell you, doing the dyed papers, and this was a no mess way. So I just, like I said, I posted that video yesterday. Go check it out on my channel. It was easier than I expected. And I'm going to try it with some different colors. I used re-inker. Some people use other things, like I've seen fruit and vegetables and all this. I also want to try it with coffee or tea. That was my original plan, but I just didn't have time, and I wanted this to be a gray, so it would kind of go with all my papers that I'm using. So that's why I decided to use the re-inker, because I wanted to, I didn't want the brown from coffee. But I have a feeling I will like the smell of coffee papers, because I like coffee. Tea, I don't know. All right, so we've got our papers, and then I need those 2 other pieces. So we started out with 3 of these, 8.5 by 8.5, and we used 1 for our cover. Now I've got to cut these 2 down because I want these to be pages too. And these are the ones where I'm saying you can doll them up, you know, put stuff that makes you happy. If you want to put pictures, you don't have to. It's your journal. You can do whatever you want with it. But I'm probably going to put a few little somethings in here. I don't know yet. All right, so I'm cutting these 8 by 8. And again, I'm not going to save these. I know you probably could, but I am going to bring in my scoreboard because I want to score these designer papers. See, both of these sides are great. Black and white, so it's going to, the colors are going to go no matter what. All right, 4 inches. And then this one will be 4 inches. Now I should probably do some stamping before I put the book together. So I want to add some of the flowers. All right, I want to alternate. So I want a white piece, a hand-dyed piece. Let me do another white piece. Let's see, I have 12 total, right? 1, 2, 3, do this 4, and then hand-dyed, white, hand-dyed, then we'll do this one, and then white, hand-dyed, white, hand-dyed. Okay, so this is the order I want my pages to be in. All right, so now let me bring this back in. So you notice when you jam your pages together, invariably they squeeze out the side. And that's just the nature of all these pages. like stacking up on top of each other. Now you can trim this down. I don't really worry about this. That's also why I make my cover a little bit extra. So I'm gonna have to see. Actually, let me score my cover now. That glue should be pretty dry. So my cover, 8.5 by 8.5, and I glued black and the designer series paper together. So let's score this at, oh, whoops, I messed that up, 4.25. All right, that's gonna be the back side anyway. Jeez, it's always something. All right, 4.25. Consider this like very thick paper. So I wanna go over that a couple times. Ugh, no one's gonna see that. All right, and now let's fold it and really give this a burnish. Now it's not gonna lay completely flat once you get your pages in it, but that's not to worry. Okay, so my pages are, that 1/4 inch is all we need. I don't mind that they're like, it's coming close down here. All right, so I do wanna do just a little bit of stamping up the flowers and stuff like on some of the white pages. So let me just start, let's start in the middle, and then I can do my stamping and then flip them over and make a pile that way. So on this is going to be a series of, let me stamp all the black stuff first. On the hand-dyed papers, I want to stamp just like black outlines. I don't really want to put the colors on here because I don't think it's going to look that great either. Now for today, I'm using Tailored Expressions Oreo. I have a bunch of different blacks and I like them all. So black inks. All right. So for these, I want the focus to stay mostly on the writing spaces, the writing bits. But I do want, you know, a few little images. And then I'm going to take this one, boop, boop. All right, now I want to do the same thing kind of on the other page, or on the other side. Maybe one, a few little ones down here. Nothing too crazy. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. All right, so that's one page, and I'm just gonna make a pile face down like this over here. Avocado pits, yes. Yes, Sharon, that's what I saw. Cherry pits, avocado, yep, that does sound familiar. There's all sorts of stuff. And I tell you, when people are doing the ink dyeing, or even just the coffee staining, like, it can be a whole big production. I mean, I enjoyed doing it. I was glad I tried it and it worked. But you could make a bunch at a time with coffee. Oops, I must be shaking things. Yeah, I do want to try the coffee because they did it like in a, looked like probably a 9 by 13. I'm just trying to stamp these in the same area since I could see through it. Like a 9 by 13 pan, and they filled it with coffee and then let it sit. Some people did stuff in the oven, like drying their papers. Ugh, that just makes me nervous. I was more interested in just letting it dry on its own. And that's what I did, and it worked. So that was cool. All right. I don't know how many of these I'm going to sit here and stamp because you get the idea, right? I think I may come back and do these later. Yeah. Because that's all I wanted to do was black and white stamping in here anyway. All right, let's bring these back in and we will do our stitching. So tap these down. Get them as tight together as you can. All right, and then we clip them. We open it back up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I'm squeezing like right at the spine because I want them tight, as tight as I can. And then we're using our binder clips. Oh, you know what? I have to clip it in here. Way to go, Toni. So I am sewing it right into the cover. So let me pull this one. Let me do one at a time. Again, I want to tap, 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 and really smash it in here. And I am lining it up so it's even on this side and this side. All right. Now let's get these in here. More tapping, squeezing. More tapping and squeezing. You just don't want things loosey-goosey. You want this, you know, the spines all lined up. All right. That's good. And this is the back. Yep. Okay. Now for this part, you get it bound together. Now we need our pokey tool. 3-hole pamphlet stitch. We need 3 holes. So we go, I'm eyeballing one in the middle. It's better if you try to close this as much as you can, and I'm just pushing and twirling my pokey thing. The closer you have this to be flat, it's more likely to come out in the center of your spine piece. So if you have it open, this hole may end up, you know, like here it's coming right, that is right at the spine. That's what I want. If I had this open a little bit, it may come out here or it may come out on the back. So you want this squeezed as tight as you can so that you get this right through the middle. All right, so just push that through. And then I go about an inch or so from the top. And same thing. And this really pokes through quite easily. This is going through, let's see, 3 layers. Oh, whoops. Did I stab my thing? Yep. 3 layers of designer paper, 1 cardstock, and another 10 pieces of copy paper. All right, same side, same thing on this side, about an inch, and squeeze it and twist and push until we get it through. All right. I feel like I stabbed my mat. Okay. Oh well. All right, now we need our needle, which I did have that here. Here we go. I say a blunt needle. This I got from my crochet bin, just so you don't stab yourself because it's unnecessary. All right, I figure out how much thread I need. I do this 3 times, and that seems to work. And again, that's just eyeballing. All right, so that's our baker's twine. And we are ready to 3-hole pamphlet stitch our little journal together. Now, if you already have a traveler's journal, this should fit so you can do an insert. All right, 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Whatever side you go in, if we start on the outside going in, or if we start on the inside going out, whatever side you start at, that's where your tail is gonna end up at the end, where you can tie your bow. So for this one, I want that bow on the outside. So I'm gonna start on the outside, and I'm right-handed. So we're just gonna hold this and fish this through that hole we poked. All right, and I'm gonna pull it until I have about that much left, okay? Now we go either up top or up bottom, doesn't matter, down bottom. So I'm gonna go down the bottom, and we go this way. And I'm pulling that through, and you want to pull things tight as you can every time. Let me get this out of the way. I know it's hard to see, but I didn't tape it down. All right, so see that? I'm pulling it tight. Now we're going to go past the middle loop and go right to the top loop, and we'll go in. So in through that hole. All right, pull this out. And now I have to try to keep track of what side this baker's twine is on. So I want this on the left side and pull this tight. Okay, so we pulled tight every time. And then we'll go back through the middle hole. This time I want that needle to come on the right side. So let me just pull this out of the way and get this needle coming through. And I am going to have to tighten everything back up again. But I want both ends on opposite sides on either side of my main cord here so that I can tie a knot. Okay, so pull it tight, and then we tie a knot. And you can see I didn't have it completely even, but that's okay. And I'm going to do 3 knots. So the 3-hole pamphlet stitch, it's not hard. I know the first one I made, I was very intimidated because I was like, I can't sew a book. Like, I can't do that. But yeah, you can. And I like it because you can just make your own little notebook for anything you want. All right, so then some people just tie that in a knot and leave it. I just like the bow. You can also tie things like have dangles on there. So if you have any little charms that you want to just hang off the ends. All right, now we're done with these clips. And the basic part of our journal, our basic construction is done. And actually I want to put this back. So this is how I store my needle, with this long piece of vanilla baker's twine, because I can see it. All right, so we've got our cover and we've got all our pages. We've got some designer series paper. Now we're going to come back maybe tomorrow and add some pockets, because we're going to have some leftover bits after we make our cards, and we can add some pockets and tuck spaces in here. But my plan was just to use this to write in mostly. And I love this. And then maybe on these parts, you know, tack, like, you know, if I have some little pictures or just little bits of something that make me happy. So not a ton, but I like it. All right, I do want to put something on this cover though. So in our packet we had, I actually need this. We had 2 half sheets of white in your class packet. So these are 5.5 by 8.5. So you need 1 of these, and we're going to do some stamping. And then I had, oh yeah, and then we need these sheets. So these were leftover bits too, 3.5 by 6.5. So what I want to do is I'm going to trim one of these down. I got to figure out which one I want to use. I wanted one of the white ones because I wanted to stamp some of the flowers. Actually, I think I'm going to use this. Okay. So I want to stamp some of the dahlias directly on there. And then I'm going to stamp some more dahlias on here and hand cut them. But first, let's trim this down. So this piece is 4.25 by 8. So I want this down, let's see, I didn't measure this part. Or 4.25 by 8.5, and this is 6.5. So let's go 2.5. I want it to be kind of, that's a little skinnier than I wanted, but I'm going to go with it. Okay. Oh. I think I probably should have trimmed it more off that way, but no worries. All right, I'm putting this foam underneath my scratch paper because I need it for these silicone, the photopolymer. This distinctive stamp, I really like it. This was the $100 item for celebration. Yeah. And then let me give this a quick clean. Remember I had this in black ink. Oh wait, I wanted to use black ink again. That's right. Duh. Now for this, I'm not going to worry about lining them up too much, but the flowers do layer. It's a good two-step stamp. You just have to find the right spot, but I don't feel like messing with that. And this is a little bit busy anyway, so not the end of the world. All right, I do want to put some little flowers. Boop. Okay. Good enough. That's just to give it some color. All right, now more stamping. So we're going to take our bumblebee, and I really want like maybe one or two of the big ones and then some little ones. And I actually have pre-cut all of these, so I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me stamp and die cut flowers. So depending on what stamp set you're using, I think it would probably be easier to have one that that you have dies for, or a punch. All right, and then we'll do some leaves, yada yada. So by the magic of, I did this last night, I've got some leaves here that I may or may not use all of them. And then I've got some flowers. So I've got two big ones, two little ones. All right, that's that for this set. Okay. So you would sit here and hand cut these. Maybe if you had a scan and cut, that would help you. All right. But I am going to act like I just cut those. So let's just tape this on, or glue it. Actually, I need to use my new glue. I do like this Barely Art glue. I like both of them. I'm glad I got both of these to test them out. I got this and the Art Glitter glue. I really like that you can run these right up to the edge and then it doesn't squirt out. I am a fan of that. Okay, and now I'm just going to put this in the middle. Now I'm not going to bulk up my, I'm not going to put these on dimensionals because I want the cover to be kind of, flat. So I'm just going to glue these on. And don't forget, you do have some gems in your packet. So if you wanted to add those, go for it. Now these, I think I'm just going to put them like this, kind of on top of what I already stamped. And I am going to add some leaves. Let me put the leaves down first. Now this will be up to you, your creative, whatever you come up with. I just wanted something simple. And like I said, I was in the mood for sunflowers because it's August in Maryland and that's what we do. But I didn't have the sunflower set. And I had just gotten this, so I thought, well, I don't feel like buying the sunflower bundle when I don't really need it at this point. This is close enough to a sunflower for me. All right, and then we'll put this one on. I really can't tell you how much I like making little books like these. People get so creative with them. And I have notebook envy for sure. All right. I am liking it. And then I can just put this, I feel like I'm covering up what I did. I should have probably just left this alone. Just had that as a background. Now if you also had the Winkostella, you could add that. That would be pretty. Actually, I'm going to leave that. I want 3 flowers, 3 main flowers, and then the leaves. Okay. All right, so that was what I wanted to show you today. Tomorrow we're going to do the cards, but before we go, let's go back to these scraps. So what you'll see in some journals and different notebooks is people will just take pieces of paper like this and you just fold them in half. I thought I had some extras too. Fold them in half and you have a little notebook. All right, and then you'll see they'll take a little piece of scrap like cardstock or designer series paper or something. I am going to, let's trim it this way. Fold this in half. And then they will tuck this into a pocket or a corner. Oh, like why is this so squishy? Because I had my foam under there. All right, so we just tap these in and we'll add a little bit here. And some will make this part come all the way down the back, but I'm just gonna do it like this. Perfect timing. All right, let's reload my stapler. And I do have them handy. That just figures. I use this thing all the time. And I think it only holds one little row. All right, let's flip it this way. Load it. I think Gail looked into this, and this is the Stampin' Up! One, but she said the Tim Holtz, he has a mini stapler and that the staple should fit. But I think I have like 5 packs, so I think I'm good. All right, so we've got our little mini notepad and you just staple it. And then you would have, if you had a pocket of any kind. All right, let's look at this. This is a card I made for something else, but let's pretend, so this is just a pocket and you just put it in here. Cool, in your journal. All right, so homework for tomorrow. So if you're going to join me tomorrow or catch me on YouTube, tomorrow's when we're going to make our 2 slimline and 2 mini slimline. So what you can do is take that extra half sheet of paper and stamp some more flowers. So I wanted, and this is any colors you want, okay? I would pick something that you have ribbon that matches, because I'm providing you 2 different ribbons in the kit, but I also want you to have a piece of color. So like I have polished pink, so I'm going to use that. I don't have, this is Highland Heather, but I'm going to bring in some of my pink ribbon. All right, so I want you to stamp a couple more. We're doing 2 cards of each. So I want 2 big flowers, 4 little ones in one color, and then 6 little ones in another, and 5 or 6 leaves. Okay, so do that for homework for tomorrow. And we're gonna make our cards, and then whatever little leftover bits of paper we have of the designer series paper, we're gonna go through here and make some pockets, or you know, like little tuck spots, like just a few, but just to give you an idea of what you can make. Like I'll probably put a pocket here, now that I think of it. So, all right, so that is part 1 of our class for August, and I'm gonna get this posted to YouTube tonight. I don't have a whole lot of editing that I'm gonna do to it, so I'm just gonna get it up there and update my blog, and I will see you guys tomorrow. All right, thanks, bye.